Let them serve as times and seasons. Genesis 1:14 said, after creating, or after Yehuwah creating the celestial bodies, he said, let them serve as markers of times and seasons. Now, when you don't pay attention to some of these things, you miss what time it is. Now, those of you who have gained knowledge, you understand the times you are living. And you are now under the age of Aquarius, where knowledge of God or Yahuwah is being poured in the earth. This knowledge is good and it's not so good. Because today many people are sharing all kinds of knowledge. Some are even calling God Satan. Which means you have to be careful. You have to use your intuition by studying what these people are doing. If it is coming from the spirit of truth, or is it coming from their own egos? Now, with all the things that we have learned, what is the next age? Because when Jesus spoke about, I prefer to call him Yeshua, but in the Bible, they called him Jesus. I don't know where they got that name from, but Yeshua apparently said, I will be with you even until the end of the age. And they changed that to the end of the world. Poor interpretation. So we know the next age to come after the age of knowledge is the age of Capricorn. Now, Capricorn is ruled by which god, or some of you may say planet, and it is none other than Saturn, the big boss, the great one amongst the greats. Now, in the other podcast, I told you about Deuteronomy 17 and about verse 3, where you were told not to worship any other gods, not the sun or the moon or any other celestial bodies. Now, in the original Hebrew, it doesn't say do not worship or bow down to any other gods. It said do not worship or bow down to any of the mighty ones. Mighty. Now you all know the name of God is Yehuwah. And sometimes he introduced himself as the Almighty, El Shaddai. So if he is mighty and he's telling you not to bow down or worship any of the mighty ones, then you have to understand the Elohim, which is for plural, they all have their times and seasons. So if after you have received all this knowledge, perhaps for the next 2,500 years this is going to go on, after that comes the age of Yehuwah. See how everything fits. This age of Capricorn in ancient times was called the Golden Age, where God Himself rules the earth. Therefore, you must understand you are being prepared for a time to come through the cosmic clock, which you were told they will serve as markers of times and seasons. So the golden age will come again. And this is a time humanity has always been waiting for. But this preparation means, especially those of us born into Christian families, we were all introduced to the Torah. And a new book has been added to it. They call it the New Testament. Whether esoteric or exoteric, even mesoteric, the one fact that remains the same is the relationship between ourselves and our Creator. That never changes. If you run to Kemetism, you are met with 42 laws of Ma'at, or the 42 commandments of truth. Then you say, this is too much for me. I will go to Judaism. Then you're met with 10 commandments. And under the 10 comes many. In total, there's about 613 commandments in Judaism. All of this stuff, to the ego, is hard work, it's poison. Because all these things are designed to destroy Satan. Pharaoh, who will not let the people of Yehuwah go so they can worship him. And so in the book of James, he said, if one fulfills all the commandments and break one, he has broken them all. Because there is no such a thing as a halfway crook. You are either a crook or you are not a crook. So the master, Yeshua, he said, you cannot be lukewarm. All this stuff, this lukewarm stuff, is in Hermetica. You cannot run away from it. It is everywhere. So in order to worship Yehuwah, you have to worship him in truth. That is why in the book of Isaiah 29 it says, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far away from me. A man called Jesus, or Yeshua, good master. And he turned around and said, why are you calling me good? Isn't it only God who is good? But if you want to enter into life, follow all the commandments. If you want to enter into life, what is life? If you want to save your soul, if you want to take your soul from Satan, the flesh we are all wearing has a mind of its own. That is what Lucifer in the book of Melchizedek was talking about. Lucifer wanted to understand darkness, or the mysteries of darkness, which is matter. And matter is what we are all wearing. So we are supposed to be rulers of matter, not matter ruling us. So today is Saturday. A day of rest. The Sabbath. The rabbi or the master, Yehuwah, he said, if you want to enter into life, obey the commandments. Can one get away from the commandments? Absolutely not. You stand no chance. And so at this particular time, perhaps you want to familiarize yourselves with the 10 Commandments. I'm going to leave this podcast. A lot of people need to be doing some soul searching, because the only reason you are given the Torah, or the New Testament, in fact, is to save your soul. Peace.